proved to be a milestone on the path of progress. Let us begin our national webinar with the Invocation of Almighty. I invite Ms. Amrita Sri, B.Ed student of our college, for the prayer song.
Amrita Sri.
നന്മയാകുന്ന കാന്തി കാണുവാൻ കണ്ണിനാകേണമേ, നല്ല വാക്കിൻ്റെ ശീലു ചൊല്ലുവാൻ നാവിനാകേണമേ, സ്നേഹമാകുന്ന ഗീതമോ എൻ്റെ നാവിനിണയാകണേ, സത്യമെന്നുള്ള ശീലമോടെ ഞാൻ ശാന്തി അറിയണമേ. ഭൂമിയമ്മയെന്നറിയുവാനുള്ള ബോധമുണ്ടാകണേ, ജീവജാലങ്ങളാകെയും ജന്മബന്ധുവായിടണേ, ജാതിഭേദങ്ങളെന്ന ശാപമോ ദൂരെ മറയണമേ, ലോകമൊന്നിന്ന പാഠമെന്നുമെൻ മനസ്സിലെഴുതേണമേ.
Thank you, Amrita Sri. Now I request our respected Dr. Litson Raj, Professor and Head of MET Department, to deliver the welcome speech.
Thank you, Lindsay.
You are welcome, sir.
Respected Dr. Ajaya Kumar, the Vice Chancellor of Kerala University, Resource Person of the Day, Dr. A Sudhir, sir, Dr. Sajid C. Raj, the Principal of this college, dignitaries participating in this webinar, and my dear friends. I am very glad to be here as a member of the organizing committee of this webinar, which discusses a subject that is very pertinent to this time. More than 500 scholars, I think it is 560 or 570, registered in this webinar link, which itself shows that the topic of discussion is the need of the hour. Only a few people could be accommodated in the Google Meet platform, and hence majority of the registered people are forced to watch the live streaming in YouTube. We regret for the same. National Policy on Education 2020 gives light into various fields of education in India. Teacher education is one of the major heads where human resource for the school education is built up. Even the structure of teacher education course is revamped in the policy. Hope this webinar will have a fruitful discussion in this field and enlighten the participants for the transformation of the new generation. Today, we are blessed with the presence of Dr. P.P. Ajaya Kumar, the Pro Vice Chancellor of Kerala University, who is spending quality time on teaching, writing, and publishing across disciplines. His academic credentials stem from his graduate and postgraduate studies in English and PhD in post-colonial writing. In various national and international seminars as resource person and paper presenter, and also working as the chief editor of an international journal. Moreover, he is a good administrator, having a good wisdom. We are very thankful to you, sir, for joining us to inaugurate this webinar. And with all due respect, on behalf of CSI College of Education, I extend a warm welcome you, sir. We have two eminent resource persons from the field of teacher education. Sudhir's field education. Sudhir sir is known to many of us, who is not only an efficient professor, but a good researcher too. Dr. Vijayan is also an efficient faculty of NCERT. I am not going to tell more about them as they will be introduced in the respective sessions. I am sure that their interaction will be fruitful and worthy. On behalf of the college, I welcome both the resource persons, especially Sudhir sir, who is present now. This morning, in this morning, the meeting is presided by the principal of the college, Dr. Sajid C. Raj, who is the inspiring factor of all the activities of the college. Though he is the general convener of this webinar, as a matter of formality, I welcome you, sir. This gathering include principals of various colleges. Dr. Rajeshwari teacher, I know, she is from Government College of Teacher Education, Kozhikode, and so many principals of teacher education centers are registered. Professors and faculties of teacher education institutions from various states. The registration, when we search, they are from Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Lucknow University, etc. I welcome all of you to this webinar. Former Board of Studies Chairperson Dr. G.B. Givargis and present Board of Studies member Dr. Rosama Philip, like persons, are also registered. Hope they will join the meeting in due course. I welcome these dignitaries also. There are teachers, research scholars, M.Ed and B.Ed students of various institutions joined in this meeting. I welcome all of you to this seminar, this webinar. Last but not least, the faculty members and students of our college. They are working hard for the last 2 weeks for the materialization of this webinar. I welcome all of you to this session. May all the participants have a wonderful experience in the forthcoming hours. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Let me call upon our respected principal, Dr. Sajid C. Raj, to deliver the presidential address.
Honorable Chief Guest, very respected Pro-Vice Chancellor of University of Kerala, Dr. Ajaya Kumar sir, respected resource persons, respected principals, teacher educators, teachers, and dear student teachers, a very good morning to one and all. It's a moment of pride of CSI College of Education that we are conducting a 2-day national webinar on a very relevant topic in the present scenario, National Education Policy 2020. As known to us, it is after 34 years, the existing policy has undergone a transformation. which aims to overhaul the education system of India. The ultimate aim of national education policy is to make India a global knowledge superpower. As our Prime Minister indicates, the reforms would transform the lives of millions of Indians. Yes, national education policy is going to bring transformation in all sectors of education in the country. In the teacher education sector also, several transformations are going to happen. The introduction of 4-year integrated teacher education program can be considered as a part of that. To become a teacher, successfully completing 4-year integrated teacher education program is going to be compulsory. Because of that, this new national education policy is affecting all sectors of education. The concerns relating to this transition and transformation is much more. That is why CSI College of Education has decided to arrange a platform to discuss the possibilities and challenges of this new national education policy. We are very lucky to get eminent personalities in this field to be with us for discussing the matters on today and tomorrow. I hope that the 2 days webinar organized by CSI College of Education will be a fruitful exercise for all the participants. My best wishes and thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce our chief guest, Dr. Ajay Kumar PP, Pro Vice Chancellor, University of Kerala, whose presence has added more colors to this august occasion. With great reverence, I humbly request our chief guest, Dr. Ajay Kumar, a man of words and action, for the inaugural address and inauguration of the webinar. Please, sir.
First of all, I would like to thank the organizers for inviting me to this webinar. As already has been stated, the new education policy is going to transform the educational system, the educational scenario of this country in a big way. There are opinions in favor of it as well as against it. And this is a time when we have to ponder on the various nuances of this policy and how it is going to affect the education system in the future. As we all know, education is the key to human progress. This is true in the case of almost every part of the world. And it is certainly a fact that the state of Kerala has achieved great success, mainly due to the popularization of education in Kerala. I think Kerala is one of the states where education is given greatest importance when compared to certain other states. And it is also important that education has lifted many people from the downtrodden sections of the society to very high positions, and thus helped in eradicating the social imbalance, poverty, and the kind of segregation that certain sections of the society experienced in the past. Though our education system is comparatively very, very small, and it has a small history, because in Kerala, the first university was established only in 1937. And during the past 80 years, we find that innumerable changes have occurred in the field of higher education in the state. A lot of colleges have come up, a lot of universities have come up, specialized universities came up, technical education has improved a lot. So there were a lot of changes during the past 80 years in the state of Kerala in the field of higher education. And we all know that education is a vibrant field which has to be modified, reformed, renewed every now and then, because the education system cannot remain static. We all know that the world is progressing very fast, and the experts say that we are now in the fourth industrial revolution. The fourth industrial revolution is focused on the digital transformation, digital revolution. So this is the age of digital revolution, and our education system has to transform itself. It has to be remolded to fit to the new revolution in the digital age. So such changes should occur, and the new education policy, I think, will help in this transformation. But at the same time, it is also true that some of the recommendations of the new education policy document raises certain eyebrows, because we find that the document says within 15 years, all colleges should become autonomous colleges. They should be separated from the university, or else they should be closed. And that is one recommendation. And I feel that it is always good to promote colleges and to lift them to the level of autonomous colleges. But at the same time, in a country like India, we know that there are several institutions, especially in the rural areas, that could not, or that may not be able to rise to the level of A grade or an autonomous institution. And an educational institution in the rural area certainly is important for the development of that particular area. So we are not sure whether the government will support these institutions profusely to come up. If so, I think it is certainly a welcome change. But if not, what will happen is that certain undeveloped or underdeveloped areas of this country will lose even the possibility of development in future. I think the current policy of the NEP accreditation, in which the colleges or institutions that get higher rank, higher score in the accreditation are given high amount of money, and those colleges or institutions that do not have high ranks do not get any money. That is a kind of policy that the government undertakes. I think there is a problem in this policy. The problem is that we are trying to promote those institutions who are already at a better position, and we ignore those institutions that do not have the infrastructure and other facilities necessary for possible development and growth to a better institution. So I think there should be a kind of shift in that policy in favor of the underdeveloped institutions or undeveloped institutions, so that we will be able to lift all educational institutions to a center of excellence. I think another important policy that is necessary for this is the kind of collaboration and association between different institutions. A kind of cooperation between universities and colleges, between colleges and different research institutions and colleges will certainly help these institutions to develop further in the academic as well as in the research field. Because it is a duty of a prestigious institution to lift another institution in a comparatively rural area or underdeveloped position. And I think such kind of collaboration should develop between educational institutions. That will certainly help all institutions to come up. I know that, or we all know that this is a world of competition. But in the field of education, competition is not something that has to be welcomed, that has to be accepted as a norm for sustenance. Competition is necessary. But at the same time, what is even more needed is collaboration, cooperation, and mutual help between institutions. I think the contemporary situation of COVID-19 also reminds us of the need for cooperation between individuals, between nations, between communities, and between states. And I think in the education policy also, there should be a thrust on a kind of cooperation and collaboration between institutions. And apart from that, I feel that there are several suggestions in the policy that are extremely welcome. The changes in the school system also has certain that is doubts, because we don't know whether the policy of starting the school from the kindergarten will work in all parts of India, because the conditions in different parts of India are different. But it is at the same time extremely welcome that the policy of compulsory education from the age of 3 to 18 has been instituted, has been recommended by this report. And that is certainly a welcome change. And the government is aiming at 100% compulsory education for this age group. And the introduction of flexibility in the degree programs, that is after first year, they will get a certificate, after 2 years, a diploma, after 3 years, a degree, and after 4 years, a specialized degree. That is also welcome because it adds flexibility to the program. Moreover, there is students' choice in acquiring degrees. Student can choose a particular subject that is not part of the core program that he has selected. So I think that flexibility will certainly help the students to come up to study those areas which are actually connected with his talent and his taste. And so we find that when the implementation of these policies is initiated, I think there will be more discussions on the core issues and on the minute points that are connected with the core issues. I think that will help in, I think, reorienting this and effecting possible changes in the policy in connection with the implementation of the report. It is extremely important that we should modify our education system, renew our education system according to the time. As I said before, this is the age of digital revolution, and the use of technology in education is a must. And most of us came to know about online learning in connection with the COVID shutdown of institutions, educational institutions. But long before, I think technology has been adopted by educational institutions, in the beginning by the distance education, and later by the higher education institutions in general. But COVID-19 gave us an opportunity to use the technology and popularize that technology. And I think this is, even though this is a very unhappy period, this challenging period gave us an opportunity also to modernize our education system using technology. It is also true that technology has its own limits, but it should be used for the benefit of the students, for imparting knowledge in a more democratic fashion, even after the shutdown related to COVID-19 is over. And this is a time when students get access to all sorts of material, videos, educational videos, and other print material in the internet. So teachers will have to equip themselves better in the contemporary age. They cannot remain idle, keeping the basic fundamental details of every subject with them. They will have to work hard to give a better experience in the classroom, different from what they have been giving in the past. So this is a challenging period for everyone, every professional. And I think we will have to face this challenge very boldly and very creatively, and develop new models for the furtherance of our education system. And I congratulate the CSI College of Education for organizing a webinar like this. I congratulate the principal, Sajid C. Raj, and the organizers of this seminar, and the resource persons, Dr. A Sudhir and Dr. K. Vijayan, for participating and sharing their views in the coming sessions. So thank you once again for inviting me, and I declare that the seminar is open. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your precious words and for spending your valuable time with us. Now we have come to the close of inaugural ceremony and begin the technical session. An announcement for all the participants. An attendance sheet is provided in chat box. Kindly mark your attendance through the link provided in chat box.
So now please allow me to leave. Thank you once again. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I pass on the mic to Mrs. Divya PV, Assistant Professor in English, for introducing the resource person, Dr. A Sudhir, and take charge of the session.
Thank you, Lindsay. Good morning to all.
Sorry for the interruption. Due to network error, will back soon.
Hello, Nancy.
Sir,
Sudhir sir ഇല്ലേ?
സാർ ഇപ്പൊ വരും. സാറ് നമ്മുടെ അവിടെയും പ്രോഗ്രാമിന് ഇടയ്ക്ക് സാറിന് നെറ്റ്വർക്ക് പ്രോബ്ലം ഉണ്ട്. അതാ സാർ ഇപ്പൊ വരും.
and esteemed teacher educators of the country who have joined, and my research scholars and students, dear students, that the student teachers, especially at the M.Ed and B.Ed level. I congratulate and appreciate the venture taken up by the college, CSI College, in organizing this a debate or a seminar on the National Education Policy 2020. It is a timely and very, I will say, much needed one at this juncture. And we are thinking, or we are looking into the teacher education programs in the country, how it is going to be merged after this national policy of education. In this context, this seminar is very, very significant. Now let me come to the topic or the theme of this session, that concerns and challenges in teacher education from the context of policy of education. Let me start with the teacher education and how teacher education can help the society. So as per the UNESCO, it says that teacher education has tremendous potential for transformation and sustainable development of the society. Each one of us are a part of this. When we come to the teacher education, we are in this sustainable development of the society and transformation of the society. And teacher education institution prepares and provides the professionally competent, humane and reflective teachers. No doubt about it. We, according to the National Curriculum Framework for Teacher Education 2009, that is, the teacher education institutions are bound to prepare the professionally qualified, humane teachers. And these teachers promote the holistic and harmonious development of our learners or our students. Even teacher education has a crucial role in the successful implementation of the national policy of education, especially in the context of the teacher education in Kerala. As Dr. Ajaya Kumar has rightly mentioned, the Kerala model of higher education is very effective. So also the teacher education programs in Kerala, whether it is the M.Ed program, M.Ed B.Ed program, even the DLED, or even our teacher education, other diploma programs and all, they are considered to be a shade above the national programs. So in such a system, we have brought it up very well. Earlier, we were offering the one-year teacher education program, and we have, rightly molded or got into the two-year program. And we are making all efforts to make this program into effective one. And not only our pre-service teacher education programs, Kerala is considered to be one of the best in offering the, in-service programs to our teachers. Constantly that, the career advancement programs of the teachers. That's very, very important, and Kerala is doing that. But let us see how we are going to have this teacher education program in Kerala in the context of this, National Education Policy 2020, how we are going to take it up. And also we have to come up with a model for empowering our teachers. Whatever the policy says, ultimately we have to come back and empower our teachers through the teacher education program. We will lead to that, but first let me discuss this topic. First of all, recommendations of the NEP I will see. We will also consider the school education program, because the teacher education program is meaningless unless we put in the jackets of our teacher education. The quality of school education is important, and our teacher education program should lead to the quality of school education. So, school education we have to look into We have to look into the position of the teachers and finally the teacher education programs in Kerala. So, if we come to the National Education Policy 2020, as mentioned by our chief guest, it's going to be a revolutionary event. I will say it's a landmark in the history of Indian education. No doubt about it. And it is introduced after a period of 37 years. 1986 was the previous national education policy. After 34 years, we are bringing it. And its mission is to make Indian education system to be world class by 2040, by next 2 decades. That is, they have that vision. They have made it to a world class education system that is globally outstanding education system we have to develop. No doubt the national education policy is holistic, it is comprehensive, it is flexible, futuristic and learner-centric. No doubt about it. These are the peripheral, or I will say the qualities of this national education policy, outstanding parameters or qualities of this. And the policy gives a roadmap and action plans to revamp the entire structure of education in India at various levels, the school level, collegiate level, and even at the university level. It gives some of the roadmap and action plans. We have to see how far this roadmap and action plans are going to achieve. And finally, I will say, transforming and creating a flexible and dynamic education will yield to the progress of the nation. This is according to Dr. Kasturi Rangan, the eminent educationist, eminent scientist and educationist who was heading the panel of the National Education Policy 2020. Also, the contributions of Dr. Subramanian Committee, which formed in 2016, is also very high when we discuss about the various aspects of this NEP 2020. Now, let us examine the vision of NEP from school education and teacher education. These are the major concerns for us. I will come to other recommendations after this if needed. That is, the policy envisages a new curricular and pedagogical structure. This is the first thing. When we come to the first type of that is great policy, recommendation is that a new curricular and pedagogical structure for school education in India. What is this pedagogical or curricular structure they are envisaging? As you know, the present system of school education is 12 years. That is, we have a 10+2 system. But the policy recommends the restructuring of school education into 15 years of education. That is a 5 + 3 + 3 + 4. This is the former structure which they have recommended. 5 + 3 + 3 + 4. That is 15 years. Instead of 12 years, we are adding 3 more years. That is 15 years. And it begins, the school education starts from 3 years of age and it ends up 18 years. And they want to have this universalization of education. This is a very good mission or the vision thrown by this national education policy. Let us universalization. Even in our RT, it is only that the Right to Education Act, it is only 6 to 12 years. But they are bringing a universalization of education in India between 3 and 18 years. If we can achieve this, that's a great thing in the global, knowledge society for us. Now, let us see how these 18 years are spread over, or how they are going to have these 18 years from pre-primary to secondary education. They have prescribed 4 stages in our school education. Let me jot out or bring out those 4 stages. First one is the foundation stage, that is from 3 to 8 years. It includes the pre-primary education, that is from 3 years to 6 years, pre-primary education, and grade 1 and 2. So that is 5 years of education is a foundation stage in the formal system of education envisaged by the NEP. And the second one, going along with that, is the preparatory stage, that is 8 to 11 years. It will include the grades 3 to 5 years. 1 and 2 is over in foundation stage. Then we will take 3 to 5 years, then the preparatory stage. And the third one is the middle stage, that is 11 to 14 years, including or consisting of the grades 6 and 8. 6, 7, and 8. 3 grades, 11 to 14 years. And finally, the secondary stage, that is from 14 to 18 years, and the grades 9 to 12 years. There is a change in alteration of this secondary education, especially in the context of Kerala school education. We have class 8 in the secondary education now, but it has to go to the upper primary education or the middle stage. And the secondary education is conceived from 9 to 12 years. And the policy also envisaged a holistic development of the student. That is, I will say, a harmonious development, not only the cognitive, but the emotional, the social, even I will say the spiritual, all these aspects are rounded up in this policy. And we should save the students. Many places it says we have to save the students from rote learning, memory, and even the Prime Minister, the other day he addressed that herd mentality and rote learning, accepting everything. That's not the thing. That the students should have a real understanding of the situation, critical appreciation, creative thinking, and even learning skills. They have to have that learning skills developed by the time they complete their education in these 4 stages. Now, we will examine the 4 stages once again with this implications to teacher education, because we have to come up with a teacher education. So unless we have the school education practices clear, and we can say how our teacher education programs have to be formulated. In the earlier 10+2 system also, we have taken great care in adjusting our teacher education programs to the school education and to bring up the quality and standard of students in Kerala. Now let us see, in the foundation stage, we are having the preschool as well as grade 1 and 2. So these have to be taken, and the teachers, have to be the teachers for this stage, that is the foundation stage, they have to take care about the level of development or the level of attainment of the students at this from 3 to 8 years. I will say that they are following the sensory motor and kinesthetic learning. Even Piaget says the sensory motor and kinesthetic learning comes first. Then it will go into the other operations. So at this stage, we have to follow more of playway method, activities relating to their life, creative imagination, joyful learning, language and social development. These are the things we have to take care. We have to avoid as a teacher education, we have to avoid the textbook-based teaching, rote learning method. And, even it is a challenge to prepare the qualified teachers for this foundation stage. Across stages, not only we have to look into the developmental needs of the student, but also the unconditional love, the extension of the parental care. They are taken away, because now they are coming after 5 years, but in the new system, they are coming at the 3 years of age. So the child will be that parental care has to be extended by the school situation and the teachers. This is a paramount sort of a task in front of us. And their care of health and nutrition, these are all needed at this foundation stage. Plus the basic skills. Let us not, although we say all this playway method, activity methods and all, but basic skills, the basic learning skills, the basic language skills and all should be developed at this stage. But by the grade 2, they should have the basic skills. Now, after the basic skills, they get into or graduate into a preparatory stage, that is 8 to 11 years, and they complete 3 to 5 years. That is 3 to 5 grades. 3 grades they are going to complete during the preparatory stage. This is they say that is the introduction to experiential learning. The students should learn from their experience, then learn from their acquaintances, learn from their activities. This is a stage across which we can introduce all the subjects: science, math, environmental sciences, social sciences, humanities, languages, all should be included at this stage. That package should be like that. The students' experiential learning, we have to introduce to all the subjects. And the real life situation should be brought in, and hands-on training should be given to the students. And we have to say that this is a stage of pre-adolescence, and this is a stage not of sensorimotor learning. It will come to a pre-operational stage. They are trying to operate their cognitive and other skills. So that type of exercises we have to give through our through our learning, or through our, I will say, the experiential or activity learning. Of course, this is the time we can introduce the constructivist mode of learning, and we can have a number of methods like storytelling. These pedagogical methods we have to take into consideration. Storytelling, narratives, and we can integrate the arts, culture and sports and participative and creative endeavors we have to bring in. And we have to say the teachers should be ready to handle all the subjects. This is in earlier stage. In our primary stages, the teachers have to handle. They cannot say, I can teach only mathematics and all. Stage where the teachers have to handle all the subjects. And of course, this is as per the national policy. This is a very important stage because the students are going to be assessed for their learning outcome in grade 3 and grade 5. So they have to face at this preparatory stage. We have to equip our teachers to prepare the students for this assessment and getting the now also the national assessment survey is going on. They are doing it for class 3, class 5 and class 8, and Kerala has achieved the best on this national achievement survey. In the last 2 achievement surveys, we have come up very well, and we have to retain that. And our students in the next system, it will become a sustainable and perennial one. Students have to afford to take this assessment at grade 3 and grade 5. Of course, we can have a debate about this, whether it is needed for all students or not. Now, leaving the foundation and the preparatory stage, the third stage they prescribe or they have envisaged is the middle stage in education, that is from 11 to 14 years, and they will learn the grades 6, 7 and 8. 6 to 8 grade, class 8 also will come here, and is an extension of the experiential learning. Here, the subject-oriented pedagogy and curricular style should come up. We have to give importance to, introduce all the subjects. And and also this stage is coupled with the vocational education. They have also told that from class 6 onwards, the students have to have the vocational skills vocational education and the skills needed for a profession. They have to start acquiring the skills for a profession. So I will say that separate subjects, that is content pedagogy integration, is very, very important. It is not teaching the content only. We have to integrate the content with the pedagogy. So our teachers should be very well equipped for that, identifying the content and linking that pedagogy. That integration should come in the face-to-face classrooms, at this middle stage or class 6, 7, and 8. And we will say the methods, it is a concrete operational stage, from sensorimotor to pre-operational to concrete operation. This is an adolescent stage. They are pre-adolescents, they have come into adolescent stage, and they are in the concrete operational stage. And we can have demonstration, we can have laboratory method, we can have field visits, we can have even projects assigned to the students. And our student teachers or the budding teachers should be equipped with how to handle this the student at this stage. And another thing they have noted in the report is that independent thinking should be developed. Each student should have their own ideas and a collective thought of all the students coming together. They should have a collective thought also. That the individual ideas, it is not imposing our content or the subject competency on them. It is evolving that competency through our activity or constructivist method and originating their ideas and collective thought. That is very, very important, and they should be encouraged into it, and our teachers should be well equipped for nursing this. And also at this time, we have to have a stream of teachers from the vocational, also from the various vocational streams. We have to bring in the teachers, and the students should be exposed to these vocational streams at this. And even I will say this stage, ultimately it is going to prove the children with a little bit of vocational skills, also the reasoning skills, the investigative skills, and the soft skills. They will attain that gradually, that the soft skills also at the end of this stage. So that will be fine. So up to class 8, we have these 3 stages, and in class 8, they will come up with a third assessment also. That first is class 3, then class 5, and at the end of this stage, they have to take up the school assessment test on class learning outcomes at the 8th standard. That is the 8th standard, 8th grade. Now, leaving this, we are going into the secondary education. And the secondary education, as per the new NEP, it starts only in class 9 and goes up to class 12. That is grade 9, 10, 11, and 12. You can have it in 2 labs, 9, 10 in 1 lab, and 11, 12 in the second lab. That is, even the students, this is very flexible. Even the students can leave after the first 2 grades, that is 9, 10, 10. And they can return back if they want later to continue their studies in 11 and 2. It need not be go in the same stream. So that we have to be very careful. That is, they say it is 14 to 18 years. That is, our adolescents should be looked into very well. And this is a stage where abstract thinking abilities should be promoted. And option to exit at grade 10 and re-enter in class 11. That also should be and that also should be agreed upon in the school system. And more depth in teaching and learning process is needed. More depth, so that the students will develop their interest and their cognitive functioning will go very high. And they say, along with this depth in teaching, you should have the critical and creative thinking abilities. We should develop that critical and creative thinking abilities. We are ignoring this. And many of us as parents also, we never take care of the critical and thinking abilities. And we force them to study the content and goes also to the tutorials. There also they give a lot of this rote learning in content. And we force them to the vocational or the professional streams by our choice. That should not be. They say that it should be a critical and creative thinking attributes should be developed, that abilities should be developed, and greater attention should be paid to the life aspiration of the student. So we have to have the schools and college, the schools, especially at the secondary stage of education, should see what type of a higher education or collegiate education they are going to have. So that also should be, that is a special attention to life aspirations. Let us see how we can develop this life aspiration, whether they want to come back into teaching or whether they want to go into technology, whether they want to go into agriculture, whether they are going to into medicine, and whether they are going to higher levels of occupations like piloting and all. This all should be found out, and that should be opportunities to develop this their aspirations at this secondary education. And this is a stage where we have a greater flexibility and students' choice of subjects. Now we have limited choice or rigid choice, I will say. Students have to say mathematics, science, and computer science. And if they do not take that, we will not allow them to take this, to go for a professional skill. Now, what I learned, or I was following through this, Professor Kasturi Rengan and all, they say that why not you allow the student a combination like mathematics, music and modeling, or computer science. A student can go for that. If he is talented, he need not struggle. He can be a specialized member in mathematics. He can continue his music and modeling. So such type of combination we have to bring in, at this stage. Let us not bring them or narrow them only to some of the subject or cognitive domains only. And the learning skills and how to learn. And they have multiple channels now, and they are online courses and all. They should be allowed to, take up courses on so many online or from other platforms. And the pedagogy, the content, pedagogy, context and technology integration is needed at this stage. Earlier stage, I will say only the content and pedagogy. At this stage, we have to see the content, pedagogy, and the context of the study and the technology. Technology integration. We can have the three modes. Whether online classes also they can have that face-to-face classes. They can have this blended teaching methods, or they can have a learning from their own experiences and bring it to the classroom lesson. So this way, a content enriched pedagogy, context of the child is very, very important. Whether he is studying from the home, where he is studying from a tutorial class, or whether he is studying from the school, that has to be determined. And the technology integration. He need not come to the class all the time. We can have the online classes also for them. And our student teachers should be equipped with such a, even in the NCERT meeting also we were debating. Earlier it was only content pedagogy. But nowadays we are going to have, after this COVID juncture, and we have introduced the online classes and all. So we should have the new structure of a school education and the teacher education, how the teacher education programs have to lead this national education pattern according to the national policy of education. Now we will examine the approaches to teacher education. What are the approaches that teacher education, envisaged by this, national policy of education? Now, I will say the first one is the pre-service teacher education programs need to be reoriented. They are telling India, however, going through this pre-service teacher education program till 2014. We have followed 1-year program, both at the B.Ed and M.Ed level, and 2014, as per the Justice Verma Commission, we have made it into 2-year program. And hardly 6 years have gone. Now they are telling that teacher education program need to be reoriented. These programs need to be reoriented. We have to prepare and equip our teachers for NEP reforms and teacher competencies for foundation, preparatory, middle, and secondary stages. We have to look into teacher competencies and abilities for these 4 stages. And according to NEP 2020, teacher education will be gradually moved into multidisciplinary colleges and universities. Of course, this is a hard way of putting our teacher education institutions. Very, very hard way that they have given a, this is maybe we can rethink or we can have a debate on this later. And, even government will be taking up this, whether we should move this teacher education programs or teacher education to the multidisciplinary colleges and universities. Of course, I will say the pros and cons of this, because they say if we say you go there, education, teacher education will shrunk into a department in an arts and science college or in a university, and we have to cater because the other BSc that BA programs will be going on, and we will be integrating our teacher education component into this program, so that we have to function in a multidisciplinary organization. This has to be looked into. But on the other way, they say that by 2030, the minimum qualification for teaching will be 4-year integrated BS program. And all, by the 2030, they have given a margin of 10 years to equip ourselves that all the teachers should be of 4-year integrated from preschool, that is from foundation stage to secondary school stage. No, for all these stages, we have to find the teachers into this 4-year integrated program. But also they recommend 2-year B.Ed program will be offered for those who have already obtained teachers bachelor's degree in other specialized subjects. If who have not joined after +2, if he has not joined, but gone to another stream like BSc Mathematics or BSc Computer Science, and if he wants to come back to teaching, of course, like the present system, after 4 years, they have to come back. That is after 4 years, plus they have to go for 2-year B.Ed program. For 6 years, they have to spend to get there. Whereas our other students will be getting that, qualified teaching degree within 4 years. So, and all B.Ed programs, whether they are programs that we can have different levels of program, but all these different programs, they say that is they should know the appropriate and recent techniques in pedagogy and to how to integrate this pedagogy into content. This is very much needed. That is the advantage of this 4-year integrated. I think Dr. Vijayan will convince you tomorrow about this 4-year integrated program, because they are having that 4-year integrated program run successfully in their RIs, regional colleges of education, regional institutes of education. So hopefully he will give you how this 4-year integrated program can bring up this advanced or appropriate technology pedagogical integration. But I'm not saying that with a 2-year training also we are managing to achieve that. But whether it will be substantially high, let us look into with Vijayan tomorrow. And all the B.Ed students should have a knowledge about multi-level teaching and evaluation. The evaluation on assessment that we can say from grade 3, grade 5, grade 8, and then class 10 and 12, they should have board examination also. So 5 examinations they have to face a student who is coming. Are you getting 5 examinations? Class 3, 5, 8, and board examinations in 10 and 11, 10 and 12. So that a teacher should also know about, they should not say, I do not know about class 3 examination, how it is being conducted. Multi-level teaching and evaluation that our B.Ed trainees or our student trainees should understand. And proficiency teaching with the special talents and interests. Students who are bright, the students who are talented. So how to handle with them, that should also we will give them training in the preschool, pre-service education. And thirdly, they say teaching children with disabilities. That is inclusive education of school also. They should be trained well in the pre-service training itself. So we have a pre-service colleges like CSI college have a very important responsibility thrown to us. So we have to prepare them and teaching with children with the disabilities, children with the various type of even I will say deficiencies. We have to identify them and we have to promote them, and whether we can bring them to a inclusive classroom, that's very important. And they should also be equipped with the use of ICT and technology in teaching. Without ICT, we have already, as sir has already told, Ajay Kumar sir has told, the COVID-19, although it was a very difficult period for us, but we say most of us are, it has also given as a chance for online courses or digital learning, different apps and all you can use. How we can promote this use of technology or use of ICT in teaching. Even face-to-face, if there is no scope for face-to-face teaching, why don't we switch over to this, teaching with the online or digital learning system? Of course, it has its advantages, it has its disadvantages. We have to understand the students, all these things. But sometimes that I will say, a blending of this blended learning mode also is necessary. We cannot completely go into an online classroom. That our classroom feeling and achieving that great joy between the students' interaction and all that may be needed in our direct or face-to-face classroom. But online teaching, that's very, very important. That is, I will say from 2 points, that we have to have the worthy of teaching, that learning, the students can learn from their home. That is home-centered learning. That is home-based learning we are promoting. Second one is a teacher can also serve. That is, he can also function from like an IT worker. You can sit at home and teach your children. That is home, that home-based teaching also we can make it. Or house-based teaching or home-based learning. These two, we have to think in terms of these new situations with even post-COVID period also, we may have to look into this possibility. And finally, I will say the learner-centric approaches should be more, It is not a teacher who is telling everything and all. It is not a deposition of knowledge. It is a creating knowledge, and the learner should be the architect or he should be center of the teaching learning process. And it should be a responsibility of the learner also. The teacher only facilitate or scaffold him in the process of the learning. And also they prescribe collaborative learning, not rigid and all. You can collaborate that learning from different institutions, from different experts, from different media, different channels and all. You can bring that sources of knowledge we can have. So enhancing the teacher competencies is very, very important, and empowerment of the teachers are also very important. And I will add that a research component also should be brought up with that B.Ed stage itself. That they should be able to undertake researches. If the student is weak or if the student is irregular in the class, let us learn that about that student through a research. So the need or the purpose of the research is also paramount in the teacher education institution. I will say not only the action research. Now we are only going for the action research. Now applied research, curriculum research, evaluation research. This we need. Even textbook research and textbook analysis. This a student with a 4-year integrated program, we should see a student who is also a scholar. It's not only a teacher. He's not only transferring the knowledge. He can also even create the knowledge. Even he can bring the suggestions to improve or to solve the difficulties, and even he can bring new strategies into his teaching learning process. So that's all regarding the approaches in teacher education. Now, what they state that the necessary conditions in teacher education, let us also examine that. We should be very careful and particular about the decisions. Now they say teacher eligibility test, that is test will be extended to all to cover from pre-primary to grade 12 teachers. All the teachers, we will say that I am a teacher class 3. Why should I? No, they say that we should have a test for all. That is all teachers will be uniform and they should qualify themselves in the teacher education test. This has to be looked into properly. How far we are going to get the teachers that first trained well and that qualified well with this teacher eligibility test. So I will say that this test, TET and the training program has one advantage. I will come back with a little later. And they also say for the subject teachers at the middle stage and the secondary stage, that for subject teachers like mathematics teacher, science teacher, they should have TET, that is TET also. They should have NTA also. That is National Teacher Aptitude Test they have to take. NTA also they have to take, TET also, and they should be appointed with classroom demonstration. Their classroom, how they take the classroom, that should be judged while recruiting them to this course. So that's going to be very difficult one. A MSc student will come with a B.Ed, but and he wants to go into a secondary education, means he has to go for TET and NTA test and demonstrate his qualities for getting a post. So that level they are bringing, and so these are the this has a great impact. We may not understand why they have written all these things. One is, you can see in the preschools, if we see primary schools, if we see in this system, +2 system, I will say many of these private schools are having unqualified teachers. They are only having +2, or they're not even preschools and all, class 8, class 10, +2, BSc, and they are taking the classes. Are you getting most of this? Whether we can, of course in aided and government we are safe, but we look into the other sector, and they are private teachers, private schools are also in our, and I used to say Even I used to argue with our director of SCRT. Why not you call them the private school teachers to this? They are also teaching. They are also taking care. If they drop, if they are inefficient, then our quality will suffer. The overall development of the student, they may bring them that cognitive development only or content development only, but the other things will. So we have to take into care. So if we can bring all the teachers, if they can bring to TET and all, if the if we follow it's very good. Otherwise, even they say that even 35% of the teachers in very many, may not be in Kerala, but in other states, they are unqualified. They do not have any trained teachers. They are not trained. They do not have any training. They go only with the raw degree. Okay, so that whether if we can filter and we can bring in the teachers with this system, it will be very good, and we should be thankful to Dr. Kasturi Rangan and Dr. Subramanian to bring such a good national policy in education. And they also say about the continuous professional development of the teachers. That is the teachers, that professional development of the teachers, don't think that it will be over when you take a B.Ed degree, get into the job. No, that it is continuous. It should be continuous. That you have to, when you are inducted into the school, you should be given that orientation. And further, in for your entire career, I know how difficult for me it was, even though I entered into the university system and all. To cope up with that, I had to go through this in-service program. And they give you insight and novel methods also, even in research and all. Many of this understanding of the outstanding or advanced research practices, I got it only through this in-service program or continuous professional development and opportunities. And this is very much important for the self-development or improvement of the teachers. Otherwise, a teacher will enter and he or she will end up with the teaching procedure at that stage. But continuous professional development will give you a scope or a chance for you to improve your qualification. You can go for high other, multiple degrees, professional courses, and you can have online courses. You can have PhD. These are all, and this should be brought into our system. There are scope for doing PhD for these teachers, and in their, continuous professional development, there is a chance for a teacher to do their PhD. Are you getting? So making a scholar, a teacher into a scholar, that is also going through this continuous professional, and they give ample opportunities for the teachers for this NEP gives, that each teacher will be expected to participate in at least 50 hours of CPD. 50 hours of CPD every year through their own effort. Are you getting? They should see that they can go through, that should show 50 hours of in-service teaching programs or activities, they can take it up. And through their own effort, they should not depend upon that school or colleges for that. They have to take it up. Even a teacher educator, he can go for this. We should find out a way of having that 50 hours in every year. And they say even not only for the teachers, but even for the teacher educators and even for the school administrators and principals also should be expected to participate in 50 hours of CPT modules. And this can be modules also, not only a program you have to go and all. That you can have a module, you can learn that module, and you can practice that training should be done with that modules. And for principals and all, that they should have in the CPD, they should have continuous professional development program should cover leadership abilities, management skills, and administrative abilities also. That administrative proficiency, leadership abilities, and management skills have to be promoted through this, continuous or in-service programs. And this is needed for updating our skills. You have skills. We have to update that skill. We have to, update that skills, and we have to make use of that transform that skills for our learning, activities, and implementing the pedagogical plans based on the competency-based education, especially from the principal's point of view. You have to see whether all these pedagogical programs are taking place. So they should have that proficiency in that, so they can develop this proficiency through their, continuous development program, professional development program, or in-service program. And what are the professional standards they have prescribed? I have 2 or 3 points here, and then we will go for discussion. By 2030, educationally sound, multidisciplinary, integrated teacher education program. This is the first thing they are giving, that by 2030 only, 10 years space is there. Educationally sound, multidisciplinary, integrated teacher education program. But we can debate over this, because they say another process there. All multidisciplinary universities, colleges should establish education department, and B.Ed program should be run along with the departments like languages, sciences, music, history, sociology, psychology, philosophy, and all. So this will be available in the schools, in the universities and all. So you can take, you can run this, B.Ed program through in a professionally competent, and it will be, universities and colleges will be graded also. And with the graded, very high graded universities and colleges should take up, for this teacher training program. Also, they say in the third clause that all standalone teacher education institutions, this is to be noted for CSI college or government college of education. We are in it as a settled down. We can say what we can achieve. All standalone teacher education institutions will be required to convert multi-discipline to multidisciplinary institutions by 2030. So instead of going to a multidisciplinary institution, if we can bring those multidisciplinary courses, like an RIE Mysore, can we bring the science department, mathematics department? And I think this will be our focus. All these, our teacher education institutions, all over Kerala, they are very high standard. No doubt about our quality of teachers and all. Why can't we go into the RIE models? We can develop a mathematics department, science department, social science department, and arts departments and all. And we can have these facilities in a complex. And also, I will say, a demonstration also, school also should be there. And it will be an educational complex, starting the students with a +3. When they will come to that demonstration in school, when they are at 3. And they will continue. And if they want, they can continue for their teacher education programs in the same campus. So a campus will be there, and campus will have, and we can make use of, if you bring a physical science department and its laboratories, a computer science department, an English language department, these resources can be used as learning resources for the schools also. Not only for our teacher education students, we can make use of it. So this type of, like our management institutes now, they have their self-sufficient and autonomous institution. Why don't we have institutes of education with outstanding resources and a demonstration school with all these subjects, necessary subject, which if you are going to specialize only in science and mathematics, stop there. If you are going to specialize in social sciences or languages, bring those departments in our teacher education institution. This provision is also open to us. So, but we should equip it. Otherwise, what they say, there should be a regulatory system That it should be an empowered regulatory system to take action against substandard and dysfunctional teacher education institutions. And they want to weed out all the substandard and dysfunctional teacher education, which are not coming into their design by 2030. So either we can go for these models which they are prescribing, or they will have this regulatory system. Now, and also another recommendation is that no more NCT, no more AICT. It will be only by a council at the higher education level. And standards are going to be very national standards and global standards they will bring. And they will assess the institution from that standards. So we have to be very careful. And finally, I will say the use of technology platforms. That is also very much important. The technology forms something like Swayam, that Diksha now they have. This is needed. Even we can take care of the online training of the teachers on that. Even the professional development in-service programs of the teachers should be done through this technology platform. And or you can open up the students for a multi-level courses. Not only for this, even I was envisaging when I went once or twice, why don't we, after 4-year teacher education program, our students will come as they have a degree in education or in pedagogy. So with that degree, why don't we start a IES, Indian Educational Service, on parallel with IAS and all. But of course, that has to be brought out at a later stage. But they have not recommended that. So that these are most of the recommendations. But along with this, there are so many other recommendations. My recommendation that is mother tongue as medium of instruction until class 5. That also they have recommended, and 3-language formula. That is mother tongue, Hindi, and English you can have. And they have asked for a national mission on foundational literacy and numeracy. This should come up by 2025 to see whether we have that digital or we have that foundational literacy in India achieved that India. And of course, they have also envisaged 4-year UG program. As Ajay Kumar has rightly mentioned, it is a they have a multiple exit and multiple entry and exit program they are envisaging. That is first year, 4-year program. First year, if they complete, they will get a certificate. Second year, they will get a diploma. Third year, they will get a degree. And 4th year, they have an interdisciplinary or a honors course degree. That is, they will have research inputs also at the 3rd year. Up to 3 years, they will have only their study of their subject and all. Interdisciplinary subject and research perspectives will be there in the 4-year degree. So we will have a uniform degrees at every level, even the medical, MBBS, where the technology, BTech and all, and we are going to be on par with any other professional degrees in the country. So that's one aspect that they have brought in. And college national, they have brought out their 4-year integrated program, and they have wound up this MPhil, no MPhil from now onwards. Although I was part of this MPhil program here and there, but now I have seen it was needed also in certain degree, because this MPhil degree, when they join, it goes to 1 or 2 years. They are not sufficiently supported by the university. So it is better that they go straight into the PhD, because with a 4-year, and they can have the postgraduate degree in a year or 2, then they can enter into the stream of PhD. And one more thing, that PhD students in education should follow, that they should have in their in their coursework, they should study about the school education program. And our pedagogy, that they have to study as one of the component of their PhD program also, that is mentioned it. And college affiliation system has to be phased out. We are going to say goodbye to the college affiliation system. the colleges will become autonomous colleges, and they have to nurse themselves, and they have to get the support from the the governments directly, not through the university system. At the apex level also, they have demolished that UGC. They have got away with the UGC and NCT and AICT, all these bodies. Then so these are some of the salient. And finally, one of the landmark is they have brought up all the research into one foundation. They have suggested a national research foundation. It will be a funding agency, not a university or a UGC. Earlier, we have to depend upon the UGC or university or ICSSR and all for a little money. But now our scholars or our teachers can get the money directly from the National Research Foundation. So that they wanted to promote interdisciplinary and transdisciplinary research. That's what they realized. How can we make use of transforming our system through our research? So that is that. Okay, so that's all I have listed out in my address. Now we can see about how we will go ahead with our teacher education program. Of course, in the words of our Honorable Prime Minister, he says that the position of the teachers are going to be very dignified and the status is going to be very high. Equally, we can think about there will be the service conditions and our pay packets and all will get a very good attention from the center. And if they bring that the GDP into 6% level for education, we can achieve many things. Now it is only 2 point or 4 point like that. But if they break it into 6% of our GDP coming to our education sector, that will be great. And if they can make a uniform type of a salary and service to teachers at various levels, and develop nurse our teachers to upgrade their competencies and all. So this is to have a glorious time, hopefully in the next coming years. And we can have a healthy debate on this NEP now. Otherwise, I thank the college and its faculty for giving me a chance, and even for holding or hosting a national level webinar on these insights into national policy of education from a teacher education point of view. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable words about concerns and challenges in teacher education from National Education Policy 2020. An announcement for all the participants. An attendance sheet is provided in chat box. Kindly mark your attendance through the link provided in chat box. Now, it's time for you to raise your questions or doubts. For that, you may ask questions directly or may use the chat box and YouTube facility. Let me remind you one thing. For the smooth conduct of the interactive session, all delegates except the person who speaks may keep your microphones muted.
So if you have any doubt, please ask. So first preference to direct question, then the chat box will be read.
I think, Lechen sir, you can start, then they will follow.
No, anyway, it's a very informative and very challenging presentation. So first of all, I thank Dr. Sudhir sir for making a compact and informative session. And I had also a doubt, and which was, I think somebody posted in the chat box also. Now, what is meant by this composite college? There, what is the composite courses that is put in the NEP? Whether it is B.Ed and M.Ed integrated one, or is it some graduation, that BSc Mathematics plus education, that 4-year integrated course like that, or both? So if you can clear that, that will be better for all the colleges and faculties. Thank you.
Yeah, any other comments on that? Composite colleges or composite programs? Okay, I will say that is a composite type of in Gandhigram University. I don't know, my example will be correct. Our university, we started with first we had this integrated B.Ed program. We were integrating with our BSc, MSc, and our own students can go for this. They will get they will earn some grades during their BSc and all. Then that composite effort will be there. That grades they can make use of in there for their B.Ed. They can really enter into a B.Ed program with that. That is they earn that grades through going through some pedagogical courses and all. With that, they get an entry into this B.Ed. And for B.Ed, when they come for that B.Ed, it will be decided only when they have passed their BSc and whether they have earned that grades. Are you getting? Not on, there is no test and all that time. That they can walk into our B.Ed program if they have earned that grade. So it is a composite culture we were trying to bring. So that and our students were very happy. Initially, they were after me, Sudhir, why do you want to have this B.Ed integrated with our BSc, MSc programs and all? But when I spoke to them, later they found that our enrollment in BSc, enrollment in MSc have gone up because the students thought that they will earn this other courses, because just like they have to take some other courses, instead of that, they will take up courses on foundations in education. That is methods of teaching and pedagogical or action research like that. We will have a cluster of courses. They will earn that, and then if they have earned this course and a grade, they with the virtue of that, they can go into the B.Ed program. And during the B.Ed program, they need not learn those subjects. Are you getting? They cannot opt for that because they have already studied this. Are you getting? Psychosocial development of the children. So that they learned here. So that paper they need not offer there. So, but of course, for our B.Ed program, we have to take students from outside. So they have to go for all those papers. So this is a composite type of a integration if we bring in this. Nowadays, of course, we have also gone into this 4-year integrated program, but only in science subjects. We have 20 seats in mathematics, 15 in chemistry, 15 in mathematics. Our university told, let us experiment in science subjects, and then we will take it up this. And also the composite, as Litson sir mentioned, the other way also when we have, if we miss a program at it's a 4-year integrated program. The students later on they can come back to education. We have to open up because we want to welcome or want to have the best talented ones to come to education. Otherwise, these programs will go away. Because nowadays it is not that way. We want to attract the best students that will come. And even like Finland and all, they say the first preference is going to a pedagogy or education. Last preference, then only comes medicine and other things. Are you getting that level? And they say that even in the also somewhere they say we can give scholarship to these students. So for scholarship at both level, at the four-year integrated program also limited level of courses, and those who wants to come back after their MSc, they want to come back to teaching, we can have an opening there. There we can go for a composite structure. Composite structure means there we need not to penalize them, or we need not എന്താ പീഡിപ്പിക്കേണ്ട അവരെ നമുക്ക് എന്ത് ചെയ്യാൻ സേവ് ചെയ്യണം. എങ്ങനെയാണെങ്കിൽ അവര് already they have given 4 year plus 2 year and all, then they are coming to our work. So we can have a composite program of 3-year B.Ed M.Ed program. Are you getting? So within 3 years they will earn a master's degree and they will be qualified to do PhD in both streams. That is the advantage for them. Are you getting? So they will have a master's degree and they will have a B.Ed degree and M.Ed degree, and they are that composite also. That also we are taking up now, and NCT has already agreed to it. I don't know about the new council how they bring in. Hopefully they will allow us to continue. So this type of 2 ways of composite integration is we can take it up. This.
The question is, the concern is, it's a concern, sir. That idea is very good, that students are getting freedom to select all the courses. And there, will it increase the quality of that education or not? That is a concern.
Yeah, that's of course is a concern. Definitely, because we are bringing them back to, after a long period, we are bringing them back. And with we have proved that our 2-year program is effective. Are you getting? That assumption is there. Nobody is telling your 2-year program is ineffective.
Yes.
So
Okay.
bring the
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir. Then I'm passing over the mic to the participants. Vinci.
Okay, come on, please.
Sir, there is another question from chat box. That question is, which is raised by Dr. Ronnie Robert. The question is, how about having education department in colleges? How about having education department in colleges?
I have a humble request, Vinita. Can you answer that question? Because if you are going from CSI college, if you are going to a arts and science college, how will you feel that? Are you getting? Can you give your no? This is the question all the teacher educators are asking me, and they are very much worried about this also. That right question. Are you getting? Inside, how we will go and adjust. Even I have a debate at Farouk College. We have got a Mottaparam College. Everywhere they have come up with the sir, how we can go there as only as a department there. So what is your reaction? I will give my answer for that. It has advantages and it was limitations also.
Sir, I think whether it is right or wrong, I came to know that that education department will become a department in the arts and science college, like mathematics department, statistics department, and this education department will look after the pedagogic aspects of this from the first year to the last year. I think so. I don't know whether it is right or wrong. So in my opinion, it is like that only.
Hello, Litson sir. Hello,
Yeah.
Sudhir sir. Can I interrupt myself, Nisha Chandran?
Why not?
Sir, in my opinion, as Litson sir said, it is not a question of whether we are becoming a part of a college. Practically thinking that is possible because we would like to be multidisciplinary complex. But what about the funding process, sir? There is a lot of expense involved, additional faculty to be appointed. So better than that, practically speaking, as what Litson sir said, being part of an arts and science college as a department of education, personally, I also go with that opinion, sir.
Okay, any more reflections on that?
Hello.
Come on.
Sir, good morning.
Good morning. Sir.
Congratulations, sir, your thought-provoking talk. especially as my chairman for the PhD Open Defense. I congratulate once more. Two of my doubts are: will there be any weightage differences to this 4 years degree course between two candidates? One is completing this course continuously by 4 years, and another candidate completes this course with break for a period of 7 years. Will there be any difference in ranking? Second, could you please explain once more the eligibility of the teachers to be appointed at the level, that is up to 12, and at the higher education level?
മെഡിക്കൽ സ്റ്റാഫിനുള്ളത് അത് നമ്മുടെ രമാമേടാണെങ്കിലും ലേനാമേടാണെങ്കിലും ഒന്നും നോക്കണ്ട, അവരുടെ ടേബിളിലെത്തുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങൾ കൃത്യമായിട്ട് നമുക്ക് വിളമ്പി തരാറുണ്ട്.
Please mute the participants, those who are not participating in the discussion.
നല്ലൊരു സമുദായത്തിലെ നല്ലൊരു നേതാവ്, നല്ലൊരു എല്ലാ
Rajeshwari teacher.
Okay. My opinion, sir, what the concerns, sir, first of all, I owe to you for giving us a clear-cut picture about this NEP 2020. You have mentioned all aspects of NEP 2020 within these 2 years. Hats off to you, sir. Even though I am not a person to appreciate you, I am not much level to appreciate you. But anyhow, sir, it was very beneficial to all of us. Then my regard is that, sir, one thing what Litson has mentioned and also Nisha has also mentioned, that the education will become a department, like other physics or chemistry or other departments. It is one of the concerns. But while I have gone through while I have gone through the report at a glance, I have seen that there are chances for the existence of these standalone colleges, not as standalone B.Ed colleges, but some modifications will have to be incorporated in those colleges, and there is chances for the existence of such colleges. Then what is your opinion, or what are the suggestions to be given by you to for the maintenance of such colleges?
I am happy. I will answer that question. But the father was telling me something. I couldn't get it properly. What was your question for? Father, can you repeat that one? Or can anybody?
Yeah, of course. Can you hear me, sir?
Is it related to this, education department or something else?
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
No. It was regarding the course difference.
It is different. So we will discuss this one first.
Yeah.
Like
Can you hear me?
there is a say that whether we have to go into a multidisciplinary. I think what Litson sir was telling, and what we are apprehending it is going to, it is not that covetable at this stage to make education as a part of any colleges and all. Are you getting? Because it's better that we develop these institutes of education with a school and all. Instead of there, we have to have all this education paraphernalia we have to develop, and we have to go for a school. And this, and our type of work is really different from the college. It will become confusing for them also. Are you getting? Like, we may not be able to go through the pattern of the programs in the colleges. They will be following a calendar, but we have to go for a school experience and all. So this will be, very much, I think it will be very difficult for us to have in the, in a college situation, or in a very large multidisciplinary college education department ending up with a small department with the 3 or 4 teachers going for only for their periods there. And you have to, You have to launch all your program, you have to conduct all your program, and it is a professional degree, because the college will not be thinking about the professional degree program. They will be having a liberal course like BA or BSc and all. But we are running a professional college. So it's better if I think the government should take up now. They are, education in the concurrent list. This policy is only proposing whether our, governments can come up. Or, on the other hand, if I say, like Ajaya teacher was telling, if an institution, as an institute is having, they are having, especially the, Government College of Education, Calicut or IAC Trichy, they have all these aspects. So why don't we develop that college into an institute of education, bringing some of this, other departments, and also associating with the school. And I wanted to see here a sad thing, because even I have gone to all this. Rajeshwari teacher, please don't mind if I am.
Okay, sir.
In our Professor Mundasheri and our first education minister, they started model schools, and they attached many of these model schools in our training institutions, B.Ed colleges. Even I was a part of that. I did my B.Ed there. But now I found there is a division between the school, and even there is a wall separating the school and the training college. So we are not able to integrate there. Are you getting? That is the saddest part. And even in some institutions, even the B.Ed M.Ed, they see a separate. B.Ed teachers, they will not go to the M.Ed. They both are qualified teachers. And many, this is going on, including some of the universities. Not only in colleges. So in universities, we are having this. Even in Kannur University and all, if you go, B.Ed, they have a very good B.Ed section there with the 12 staff members. And there hardly one staff member sits in the M.Ed. And they say that provisionally the university. So this type of anomalies, if they say, so it will be very sad if we cannot integrate within ourselves. Sometimes we will be forcefully sent to those situations, and we may have to organize this education department. But let us hope we will have meaningful way of making a B.Ed, M.Ed and DLED, everything in one complex with an education, with a school and all. If this is coming as an institute of education, if the government is planning, even we have very good diets, we have very, very outstanding teacher education institutions, even private-based institutions also can be brought up. Not only we have to base upon that, but it has to be fostered, it has to be developed into very well institutions. Only thing that we have to see that the B.Ed programs are organized effectively in these institutions. And if I say this, sometime if I go for the institutes of education, there were people who were speaking to me from Loyola College and all. We are the best in the country, but why don't you allow to bring education department here? And in some of the universities, it is very successful. When the universities, there is a understanding between the departments, like Gandhigram University, we have physics department, chemistry department, education department, all in one circle, and we interact very well. And we have teachers in physics with the M.Ed, teachers in mathematics with the M.Ed. We have appointed teachers in sociology with the M.Ed. So those teachers, they integrate us very well. So this type of a philosophy, psychology department, if they are ready to get, so these teachers are available, manpower is available, and even our BF students, they go to the BSc physics or chemistry department to do their their practicals and all. when they go to their schools, experience, they will have the training and practices in their department. So that way, but let us see the pros and cons in this. If we can integrate it very well and we can function still an identity, that will be good in a multi-institutional, what you can say, disciplinary institution. Especially it can begin with the colleges. Otherwise, the reverse order, bringing up these institutions or these departments and making our colleges like a CSI that can be brought into a institution, Advanced Institute of Education. It may have a science department, mathematics department and all. That can also be thought about. Anyway, I'm not going to be very rigid with that. Now, Father, can you ask me your question? I'm not able to.
Yeah, of course I can repeat, sir. My question was that suppose there are two candidates. One is completing this 4-year integrated course. Okay. Other completes this 4-year integrated course with break taking 7 years. Okay. Then how we will rate if these two candidates are appearing for a post either in the education institution or otherwise?
No, see, sir, you should not forget, we have to be learner-centric, that our student-centric. We have to see that a student who has lost that 4 years, maybe due to other reasons. Are you getting? So with that, there also, if I say, or he may have his other practical difficulties in completing at one time. So we have to look into that. And we should not, as a Paul says, we should not oppress him because he is not completed on time. But we can regulate it here. Both of them have to pass the TET examination. And in the TET, they will get a score. On the basis of that, we can rate or rank. Are you getting? So that we are not allowing them to a teacher. That teaching B.Ed degree only 4-year integrated will not qualify them. And they say some from preschool to 12, they should go for the TET. So in the TET, we can say the 7-year-old who have completed and 4-year completed. But the only thing is, we should not give ineligibility to a student. They have not completed within 4 years. That ineligibility, if we bring in, that we are oppressing them. Are you getting? You can operate. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Please read the messages, that questions in that box.
Sir, there is another
Hello,
question.
sir. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, sir. I am Dr. Samvi Daniel.
Oh,
Sudhir, sir. Thank you so much for your inspiring session, sir. I have a doubt, sir. Whether we need to, whether we are eligible for applying this integrated program. That eligibility is we should be a composite college. Our college should be a composite college. Then only we can apply for getting integrated program. That needs to be clarified, sir. I contacted NCT people and they are telling that, sir, is your college a composite one? I said, no, there is only B.Ed. Then you cannot apply for integrated program. And how they can say that, sir? We need some clarification. Once we accept this integrated course, then only our college will become composite. Otherwise, we need to undertake several courses, such as BSc, BA, like that. That will not be given recognition in an aided college or government college by the government now at present. Then how can we, sir, apply for integrated program? That's my sir.
I think some you are asking a very pertinent question. This will come with all the teacher training institutions in Kerala now. Are you getting? You are standing for all of them. So
Yes,
we have to make this now NCT is no more, so you need not worry about NCT.
Oh, I see.
Oh yeah, NCT is gone. Are you getting? Their mandate have gone, so that they cannot deny now, because and those who have paid the money also, that has also been lost. Get back that money. NCT is no more. That headache is gone. But but composite college we have to define. That at a government level you bring into a a sort of a preamble. What is this composite college? How can achieve a composite college? Are you getting? Whether your standalone institution can be made into a composite college by integrating, by bringing up the other departments. Are you getting? You can have a science department, you can have a social science department, you can have a mathematics department. There you have to have teachers. Are you getting? You have to have the PhD teachers and all. And they will work for, initially they will work for only the B.Ed. So that also will become a composite college. We will become like an institute of management.
Okay.
Sir, it seems some of the ideas what you proposed. See, from your lecture, what I could understand is certain things you are just justifying. 2006, 2007, 8, these times, I mean 12 years back, a retired judge was appointed for a commission, and the 3-volume Teacher Education Commission report came out in 2009. And now it seems the present NEP 2020 has taken nothing serious about that. So I just, I would like to reflect on that, why the commission's report where teacher pedagogy and other things, of course, see, 6% is old story. It has been discussed more than 100 years. And in some states, it was implemented even, some of the states, 6% allocation of GDP. But here, again, the problem is 4-year integrated course or just 2 years. These are all, according to me, as a Jawaharlal Nehru University trained fellow, I feel these are just gimmicks. Okay, you are abolishing so many public, say, NCT, AICD, this and that, and you are forming into one. See, just you are thinking that you are making money. That's all. Making people fools. Take the case of Teachers College, Columbia University, where Ambedkar studied. See, for the last 100 years, what type of teachers they have produced? Of course, I am not in a way to compare between India and US, right? They have their allocation, they have their funding, everything. Their way is completely different. But the way John Dewey and others, practical education in a very democratic way, it produces, see, tens of thousands of teachers, that teachers could produce even millions of teachers throughout the world. The laboratory school, what Chicago, where Dewey established at Chicago also, practicality was implemented. See, when you are not advocating a proper pedagogy, here I take the point. Okay, of course, you mentioned slightly, when you are telling MPhil is no more, right? Okay, we don't want MPhil, like we can go like a Western model. Now, you are not properly talking the PhD is in 2 years or 3 years, or European American model of 5 years, where 1 year full teacher education program, research methodology program, and another 1 full year you are given to write a book review or even presentations, writing publication, and then you are given 3 years time, total 5 years time. And now you say MPhil is gone, MPhil is died, and now what is to be resurrected? PhD is to be resurrected. But again, you are not giving any impulse on PhD program, right? See, 1860, I let me tell you very frankly, I am from Kollangood, very near to Parassala. I'm living in Delhi, as a trained, as a PhD from Center for Educational Studies, JNU. We have a coursework for 1 full year. 1 full year, I had a coursework 10-15 years back. I had 8 courses. And now, regarding pedagogy of education, you are telling nothing. How many research methodology courses you will have. And you are not pointing out the retired judge, teacher education commission's thing. And you have your own way. Nowhere secularism is mentioned. So you have your own way of making some pages, and it is like the doctor, identified the disease, but he is not ready to prescribe medicine. It's like corona. The NEP is like another corona. According to me, what I feel is, medicine is not discovered. You are not giving, it is like, pouring new wine in old bottle. So kindly reflect in what way the retired judge commission, teacher education commission, which has been identified as a good one and implemented and taken ideas in the new education commission, and also how the research methodology for PhD is being carried out in the absence of MPhil program. Thank you.
Okay, any more questions?
Sir, there are some more questions from YouTube viewers. Sir, can you please repeat the 4 stages of formal system of education with respect to the ages?
With the
respect to the ages. With respect to age.
Age.
That I have already given.
I already mentioned, sir. One more question. Will the scores of TET be given importance under NEP when entering into government schools? Will the scores of teacher education test be given importance under NEP when entering into government schools?
No, I think, this age-wise distribution, I think we have already agreed that is the first stage, foundation stage covers from 3 to 8 years of age. The second stage covers from, what is that, class 8 to 11 years of age. The second one. And third one is from 11 to 14 years of age. That's the middle stage. And the secondary stage from 14 to 18 years of age. So this is the breakup. First one is up to 8 years of age from 3. Next one is up to 11 years. Then 11 to 14 and 14 to 18 years. Then the second question is government schools. It is all the same, whether it is government, aided or private or self-financed, everywhere to become a teacher, you have to have a qualified degree, plus you have to pass the TET. That's why. Okay. Any other question?
What about research opportunities?
That's good. So this is the research opportunity. This is although I am now Chancellor has brought me to the panorama of education. I was a research professor in Gandhigram Rural University. I was in applied research, and I developed this education department while I was a professor in applied research. But what I found that the research provision should be brought into the teacher education program. Not to take up any studies anywhere like that. It is to be related to their, to their educational practices. As Sam was telling about pedagogy, about content pedagogy. What are the pedagogies which are applicable, which are appropriate, which are assistive? This type of pedagogy and this type of research we are advocating. And we have to promote this research even in the 4th year of this B.Ed program. And it should be continued with our M.Ed program and PhD programs. That PhD program, they have also brought in. And all the PhD programs, they should have the coursework. And the coursework should be on pedagogy. They should not get into a subject like that. They should have a coursework on education or pedagogy. So this is very, very important, promoting this research at every level. This is sometime I have found this is wanting among our teachers. They are good teachers, but they forget. And when you come to the teacher education, or when you come to a university level of education, or if you are going to a multidisciplinary system, there you will be judged not only by your teaching, but also for your research. You will be known for your research. And there are so many avenues for research now. SCRT, we have a lot of research. We can take up along with this SCRTs and NCRT is giving. And now they are going to bring up National Research Foundation. So if we coordinate well, even I know how far myself and Litsen are used to toil with the teachers in Kerala to conduct, even COVID level, we are conducting 2 studies on psychosocial problems of the children. Those who are sitting at home, online studies and all, what are their psychosocial problems when they are not going to school? This study is going on and our teachers are doing. And another study is on online. What is this online and what are their problems? And the teachers, the students, the parents and all, how they, even the digital divide and all. So that, that type of level or research we have to have. So this is very much needed. A teacher should also be a scholar. And I want to see all our teachers, those who teach from pre-primary, that is class 1 to class 12, they do their research. They know their students well. They can study the problems of the students from a scientific angle. We cannot fool the student with something. This will go, corona will go like this. If you can, because you have to have the scientific medicine and scientific clinical strategies to prevent it. So that type of an awareness level and all we can bring in and we can promote research very much.
Hello, sir. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Sir. So you are telling that autonomous hereafter only autonomous colleges will survive. Then what about the condition of the existing colleges, especially in the private sector? And
No,
where do we go?
No, I will never say that autonomous college will survive. That's the first thing. And only thing is you have to upgrade your institute or the college. Are you getting? If you can, otherwise you go with your 3-year program. But if you have to upgrade your college with the necessary infrastructure, with the necessary, other departments and all, if you make it into such a level, then our teacher education institutions can survive.
One more, sir. You said that hereafter no accreditation process will be going on. Then how can we ensure that we will get accreditation?
You will get accreditation and no need of an accreditation. They will give the national standards will be there. You have to fulfill that standards. They will say these are the national standards to start a integrated college. Are you getting? These are not only multidisciplinary. It is an integrated college, integrated education we are bringing. So they will bring that. That you have to satisfy. Otherwise, you cannot get it.
Sir, sir, there is another question from chat box. The question is, what are the qualifications of teachers in each level? What are the qualifications of teachers in each level?
What are the qualifications? Yeah, I will say it will continue. There will be a lot of problems nowadays. But by 2030, they say it will be 4-year, BA. They should have a 4-year BA. And also that will weed out all these, unqualified teachers, BSc +2 teachers teaching in there. But that they are envisaging to 2030. That's the thing they have given. But we can even think about other alternatives also if you come up. Okay.
Now we are going out of time.
Okay. Now let me.
Any questions, sir? No.
Sir, one more question. Sir, one more question.
Tell me.
A person who has qualified both subject net and education net, will he be benefited by NEP 2020?
Yeah, definitely. He will be doubly benefited. Are you getting? I have a student, a very resourceful student. She is, her name is Diba. She is both qualified in a net in education and net in commerce, sir. Are you getting? So such people will be, get immediately posted. Are you getting? They can be posted in both either in the commerce department and they help education, or they can post in the education department. And even in Gandhigram, we are posting that people with the net and with the double net, or with the PhD, or if they have ML, they will be appointed in Tamil department, English department and all. They will have a MA Tamil and PhD in Tamil, but they have a MD, so we are taking them. And even we are giving them a chance for getting a next PhD under the education department. Are you getting? So they are already qualified in there, so we are promoting them. In the later one, they will have a double this postgrad, both PhDs and all. This is very good if they have, and they can go for qualifying at both ends. Okay, that will be okay. Any other question?
Sir, one more question from Teresa Susan, ma'am. She is asking, what will be the future of our already overqualified persons in education who have not yet been able to find proper employment?
I don't know. Of course, if they are good and if they are they will find a post immediately, because so many posts are, because we do not know what prevented them from getting. Is it age, or is it they are not able to make well? But within the system, if they are fully qualified, and if they because they have to show their abilities also. Are you getting? Yeah, I cannot say that I have all these qualities, but when I go, if I fumble in my class, my vice chancellor will say, "You better sit at home. We don't want you." Are you getting? So we have to be functionally qualified, and hopefully, you tell Susan, she need not to worry. All her PhD scholars will get there, and many of our scholars are outstanding. And I was their examiner also. So such students. But if there are some other drawbacks, suppose if they are not having 50% of marks in that subject, then they will find a person who is having 50, 55 or 60, and with a MA degree with that they will give. Are you getting? This type of things, anomalies, we have to look into, and we have to qualify that if that is there. Otherwise, it is an equal opportunity to all of us.
Okay, sir, there are no more questions from the YouTube.
Okay, I will answer some. He was good in telling the examples of Ambedkar, Columbia University and all. It was, of course, revealing that he is a product of the Ajaya and all. But I will say we are discussing more of teacher education, and we have a John Dewey in from Columbia or America, a pragmatist. We have gone through his works and all, and we are teaching them. But at the same time, we have our father of nation, Mahatma Gandhi. He has taken inspiration from John Dewey, and see how his institutions, the Gandhigram Rural University or Gandhigram the Wardha universities and all, how they are working. They are very simple, and they are bringing up even to the downtrodden. You will see how they are brought up, the tribal children and all. And we had a vice chancellor who was an orphan girl, and she has been brought up by our institution, came into a teacher, school teacher, then taught them, college teacher. She became a principal of our training college, then an outstanding vice chancellor. And she is an authority on preschool education in India now. Are you getting? Such admirable people are there, we have brought in.
UGC Emeritus Professor, Department of Education, Gandhigram Rural Institute, Honorable Chief Guest Dr. Ajay Kumar PP, Pro Vice Chancellor, University of Kerala, respected Principal Dr. Sajid C. Raj, our beloved HOD Dr. Litson Raj Sir, staff members, and all the eminent participants. On behalf of CSI College of Education, I feel immense pleasure to take this opportunity to propose a vote of thanks to our eminent chief guest, Dr. A Sudhir sir, who spared the time from his busiest schedule to grace this webinar by giving an excellent presentation on the topic Concerns and Challenges in Teacher Education from NEP 2020. The way in which he explained the subject was extraordinary and making this webinar interesting and meaningful. He has nicely explained the instrumentation of NEP, MBE in all levels of education from pre-primary level to teacher education, including inclusive education. He has given a clear-cut information about NBE 2020. Thank you, sir. I would further extend a hearty thanks to Dr. Ajay Kumar sir for inaugurating this webinar and spending valuable time with us. Thank you, sir. I take this opportunity to express my sincere gratitude to our respected principal, Dr. Sajid C. Raj, for giving us a lot of encouragement. I would also like to thank our beloved HOD, Dr. Litson Raj sir, for his constant guidance and moral support. I'm also happy to express vote of thanks to our staff members who have made this session a grand success. Last but not the least, I would like to express my deep sense of appreciation and thanks to all the dear participants who chose to be live with us and attended the webinar with great enthusiasm and made it a successful one. Once again, I thank you all for being with us in this afternoon. Have a good day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, teacher. We have come to the end of the sessions of day 1. Thank you for actively participating in the webinar. We shall begin the next session at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Until then, goodbye. Stay safe.
Thank you. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. It is done. It is your. It has become.